Motivation, you have to learn to exist without it. You have to be your best self when you're least motivated. And that's the tricky part about all that shit. Motivation is just a word. You have to have these different things in your mind on where you want to go and know that motivation is not going to get me there.
You don't get discipline from your parents. You don't get discipline from your parents, from your grandparents, from your older brothers and sisters. You don't get discipline from an external source.
But you think you're just going to stand on the sidelines and just try and learn and learn and learn and learn and learn and never really launch? Gather information but never really attack your goals? The most successful people I know their potential and have a great amount of passion towards their potential, and they are unapologetically working towards the desired outcome every single day. They live urgently. They expect everyone else to act urgently.
At the end of the day, I ask myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step. But I can always take one more step, so if I choose not to, that's on me. And I got to live with that.
You're like, well, what if you fail? You get up and you do it over again. It hurts. You dust yourself off. You might be in debt.
In that fucking sack of shit, you have to dive in that to find more. Because if you're not willing to go in there and face yourself, you're not gonna find anything. You're gonna live right here on surface, man, right here on surface. So if there is an ending to this world and there is somewhere to go and there's a judgment, you're gonna get there and you might see a chart. And that chart may tell you who the fuck you should have been. And now you get the rest of your life to think about that. Man, I could have lived a much better life if I just would have just suffered a little bit more.
Failure is not permanent. I need you to understand that. This is why we competitive people can move faster. We can move unapologetically, because I'm not looking to please people around me. I'm not looking to take the average people around me, the mediocre people around me, and please them and make them feel safe and make them feel like, well, if I act with urgency and if I'm impatient and I achieve a lot, that they're gonna feel bad about themselves. I don't care. You can't care.
You figure it out by going inside yourself, by callousing over the victim's mentality. You're always a victim, even if you have everything in life, until you realize what you've achieved.
But what I do tell people is to get after it. That's what I tell people, to get after it. Yeah. I tell people to do the things that they know they're supposed to do. Right? There's things that you know you're supposed to do as a human being. Things that you know are going to improve your life. Do those things. There's things that you know are going to make you a worse person and make your life worse. Don't do those things. Don't do the things that are making you weaker. Start doing the things that are going to make you stronger and smarter and faster and healthier and going to make you a better human being.
When life has you by the throat and choking you out and you're sitting there calm because you're trying to figure it out. You're not panicking. You're not quitting. You're not throwing in the towel. You're saying there's a way around this. And when you figure it out, when life has you gripped in a vice, and you can figure that out, that's when you overcome. We all think about quitting when shit's hard. But what you have to do in that 1 second is hard to process information during pain. Because that pain takes over and you can't think rationally. You're thinking about fight or flight, save yourself. That's not a rational thought. It's not a thought that's gonna get you through hard times. A lot of people start from a good starting point. They have a good foundation. What if you can surpass all of these motherfuckers? What if everybody who was fucking way up here started up here, and you started with no legs. You had to grow fucking legs to even start walking, and then crawling, and then running, and then you start passing people with all this given to them. I had to use all this negative shit that was making me weak and horrible as a person. I had to use this as the power that now fueled me. I had to flip it on its head and say, hold up, this might be exactly what I need.
I'm excited for it. You'd be excited for it. but you're afraid to because you don't want to rock the boat. What will your friends say, family say? They'll tell you to be careful, watch out. What if you fail? What if that embarrasses our family? Who cares? Who cares? Your failure cannot embarrass your family, because if you fail, and then succeed, everyone's going to be rooting for you. And what the fuck have they done? And what the fuck have they done that they can sit there and feel embarrassed or feel like they can laugh at you? But what have they done to anything meaningful?
So many of us come from these small places in our mind that we're not willing to think outside of only what we've seen. Our mind works in such a small compartment. And one thing I was able to do was to dream. Many people, but don't make dreams your fucking master. But I was able to dream outside those fucking four walls of that small town. And until you're able to really put yourself into that dream, but don't make dreams your master, that's where you truly become what you're destined to become.
Unrealistic and unreasonable only in the eyes of the average and mediocre. I hope you understand that. The people that are living urgently are impatient, have high expectations of themselves, know that if they fail or they screw up, they can dust themselves off. Failure is not permanent. I need you to understand that. This is why we competitive people can move faster. We can move unapologetically, because I'm not looking to please people around me.
I don't want to be a SEAL today, or I don't want to be whatever today. I'll start tomorrow. And that's the usual pattern of people's lives. This world we live in is tough. It's tough. It will beat you down. The world and the life that we live in is the ultimate competitor. It will try to take you out. It will find your weakness and it will fucking just hammer you. So if I can help you build belief, build confidence to the point where nothing can hurt you because you know exactly who you are. You've faced your demons. You've been able to go on an audiobook in your mind. Maybe you didn't write a book, but in your mind, you were able to hear all your past traumas. You were able to listen to them. You're able to fucking say, okay, now I can now talk to people about what I went through. I'm no longer embarrassed. I'm no longer ashamed. Being ashamed is one of the biggest things that kill people nowadays. In their minds, kill them from moving forward. I'm ashamed of myself. Don't ever be ashamed of anything you've done in your life. Face it, fix it, make it better. We are humans. But then again, if you always think that we're humans, you will always just be a human and always make the same fucking mistakes.
It's okay for you to set these high expectations of yourself. And you know what'll happen when you tell them to fuck off? They will go like, at first they'll judge you, then they'll laugh at you, and then they'll go, hey, what exactly is it that you're doing that you got fit like that your relationship is so healthy and awesome, that you seem so happy and at peace with yourself, that you seem to have your finances squared away? What is it that you're doing? And like, well, motherfucker, all the things that you would judge when I was trying to live urgently and be impatient and have high expectations of myself, and it seemed like I was being unrealistic and I was being cutthroat and harsh. Turns out I wasn't. It's because I'm passionate, I'm excited, and I know what the potential of myself is, and I'm trying to become that guy as soon as possible. I don't want to be the best version of myself when I'm 85, 90 years old and then die.
I had to take responsibility, and in order to do that, I had to control my ego so that my ego did not control me. And that is true on the battlefield, it is true in business, and it is true in life. So I say, take ownership. Take extreme ownership. Don't make excuses. Don't blame any other person or any other thing. Take ownership of everything in your world, the good and the bad. Take ownership of your mistakes, take ownership of your shortfalls, take ownership of your problems, and then take ownership of the solutions that will get those problems solved. Take ownership of your mission. Take ownership of your job, of your team, of your future, and take ownership of your life. And lead. Lead. Lead yourself and your team and the people in your life. Lead them all to victory.